Hello everyone, Sangeeta Nath Sinha is back with the revision series of class 10 maths. This time around, it's coordinate geometry for ICSE students only. All right. So first, see in my part 1 of coordinate, I have discussed about section formula, midpoint and distance formula. Here I would be discussing reflection in a coordinate plane. So for that, x-axis, y-axis. X-axis is called abscissa, y-axis is ordinate. Any point here would be plus plus. Here, this is the first quadrant, second quadrant, minus plus, third quadrant, minus minus, minus x, minus y, and fourth quadrant will have both negative, I mean plus minus. X positive, y negative. All right. Then equation of the x-axis is y is equal to 0. That I think I have discussed there also. Equation of y-axis is x is equal to 0. Any line parallel to x-axis is the any line parallel to x-axis is of the form y is equal to the constant through which it is passing. Any line parallel to x-axis is of the form x is equal to the constant through which it is passing. Fine. Now for reflection, what we need to know midpoint. Section formula is midpoint formula, because reflection of a point in a particular line is actually the mirror image of that point in that line. Fine. Mirror image of the point in that line. That means the point lying on the mirror like this. That means the mirror is actually at the center of that. So if I take a reflection, let this be reflection of any point, say xy, reflection of this point in this line. So what happens? This line actually becomes the mirror, and so image distance is object distance, right? So image distance, object distance, you get the answer here. Hence this point is actually it's the midpoint of the line joining these two points. And formula for midpoint is x1 plus x2 by 2 and y1 plus y2 by 2. These are the midpoint here. If this is xy and this point is x1 y1, so this is x2 y2, then the point xy actually is x1 plus x2 by 2 and y1 plus y2 by 2, right? So this is the basic idea here. From here what we get, certain, you need to actually just learn how these images are formed. No need of sitting and thinking in the examination hall, like image will be this distance, will be that, and not required. Straight away, if the reflection is in x-axis, what will happen? Y will change. So xy will change to, x will remain. First write the coordinate which does not change. X does not change. X remains same, y changes, becomes negative. Correct? And then just remember these, and straight away write the images and plot. If you are asked to plot it in a graph paper, write the final images and plot. Anyway, you're going to get lines parallel to x and y axis. So x, y will change. Reflection in x axis, y changes. Reflection in y axis, what will happen? In y axis, x will change. So xy will change to, first write whatever does not change. Reflection in y axis, y will not change. So whatever does not change, first write that. I have a reason to say this. First write that. And then whatever changes, change that. So reflection in x-axis, y changes. Reflection in y-axis, x changes. reflection in origin, what happens? Reflection in origin. So basically, this means the origin is acting like a mirror, right? I mean, it's the midpoint. It's the midpoint. The origin is the midpoint of the line joining those two, the object and the image. Reflection in origin, what happens? XY changes to minus X minus Y. Both change. So just remember these: reflection in X axis, Y changes; reflection in Y axis, X changes; reflection in origin, both change. All right. Now, next is reflection in a line parallel to X axis. Reflection in a line parallel to Y axis. What will happen? So, as I said, just learn these formulas, write down the images, plot them if required, and that's all. So, reflection in a line parallel to X axis. Now, as we know, parallel to X axis. So, reflection in X axis, Y changes. So, here also Y will change. So, Y changes. But there is a line which is parallel to X axis. It is not the X axis itself. Say the line is Y is equal to A. Okay. So, plus 2A. Just remember these images. X minus Y plus 2A. Reflection in a line parallel to y-axis. Y-axis, what happens? Y-axis, x changes, y remains same. So write y. X will change, so minus x, but plus parallel to y-axis, right? So x is equal to a. A line parallel to y-axis will be of the form x is equal to a. So xy, what remains same? Y remains same. X would change by a factor of plus 2. Okay, 2a. Remember these and you'll not go wrong. Fine. This is about reflection. And here we have invariant point, where the point which does not change under reflection. That point is invariant point. Like a point, say here 4, 0. This reflected in x-axis, it will remain the same. So this is an invariant point, and the invariant transformation is reflection in x-axis. That's the invariant transformation. So the invariant point lies on the mirror line. Okay, I'll just pull up one or two questions, and then we'll move on to the next topic. There are. Okay, question is, write the coordinates of the image of 3 minus 2 when it is reflected in x-axis. What will happen in x-axis? What will happen? Y will change, x will not change. So y changes, fine. Reflection in y-axis, y will not change. So x changes, right? Then reflected in x-axis followed by reflection in y-axis. So first 3 minus 2 is reflected in x-axis. X-axis, x does not change. It's reflected in x-axis followed by reflection in y-axis. Y-axis, y does not change. Fine? So that is the final answer. One more question. So this is a very easy chapter. Just remember the images and write them down the moment you get the question. And if you're asked to plot the graph and join. Okay, second question. Image of 3, find the image of 3, 1. This is 1. Image of 3, 1 when reflected in x-axis. Okay, let us reflect it in x-axis. What happens? X does not change. And then followed by reflection in the line, x is equal to 1. X is equal to 1. So what will happen? X is equal to 1 is a line parallel to x is equal to 1 is a line parallel to y-axis, right? So since it is parallel to y-axis, y will not change. Y is how much? Minus 1. It will remain minus 1. Whereas x will change by x minus x, first of all, minus x plus 2a. A is this, plus 2 into 1. So how much does it become? Minus 1 minus 1. right? Did you understand? So just learn the formulas and this chapter is done. There's nothing tough over here. Okay, section formula we have already done. So I think I'll go to slope next. Is there something? Okay, once centroid, just let me just mention that over here. Then I'll go to slope and equation of a line. I'll try to make that easy for you all. Let's hope. Okay, so centroid. What is a centroid? First of all, what is a median? Median is a line from the vertex bisecting the base. It has only one property. A line from vertex bisecting the base. It does nothing to the angle. Okay. And because of this property, it will divide the area into two halves. That is there. So it's a line from the vertex bisecting the base. Similarly, there can be three medians, right? Three bases, three medians, and they are concurrent. Concurrent means they pass through, the lines pass through one point. Here, the point where the medians meet is called centroid. And centroid, the formula of centroid is if the points are x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3, centroid will be x1 plus x2 plus x3 upon 3, y1 plus y2 plus y3 upon 3. That is the centroids formula. So in case, like, of course, since you all know this given, but you should know that the centroid divides the median in the ratio 2 is to 1. Okay, 2 is to 1. The ratio is 2 is to 1. So m is to n is here 2 is to 1, and these are the midpoints, right? These are the midpoints, x1 plus x2 by 2 and y1 plus y2 by 2, or here 2 and 3. So anyway, these are the midpoints, and this is the median, and centroid divides median in the ratio 2 is to 1. That is all you need to know about median, centroid, the ratios, and the formula of centroid. Okay, let's jump into the next topic, which is slope. Slope of a line. Slope of a line. That is the inclination of a line to the x-axis. Okay. How a line is inclined to the x-axis. It can be like this. Now this is taken as angle made in the positive direction of x-axis. This anticlockwise axis angle is taken as positive direction of x-axis. All right. This angle is theta, suppose. So slope is tan of this angle, tan theta. Slope is tan theta. Now, if the line is inclined to the x-axis such a way it's making an acute angle, then slope will be positive. And if this line is something like this, then the angle is obtuse. In this case, slope is negative. Okay, in this case, slope is positive. It is tan of that angle made. Fine. Okay, now slope can be found when two points are known. So if two points x1, y1 and x2, y2 are known, then slope is given by difference of the y coordinates over difference of the x coordinates. M is y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. Fine. And so this is the slope of a line. So equation of a line is of the form y is mx plus c. I would suggest don't go to learn that point, 2-point form, 1-point form and all. No need. Just learn this and solve all questions using this only. Okay. So I'll show you how. So m is y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. Y is mx plus c. Just remember these two formulas and solve any question that is asked. After this, the next theory that is, now what is m and what is c? Just need to say that. M already I have mentioned. M is the tan of the angle made in the positive direction of x, and C is the y intercept. This part is C. Okay, that means here it will be x is 0, y is C, right? So C is the y intercept. This is the slope and this is the y intercept. Fine. Now, as I said, just learn these two formulas. That is all. The other two conditions that you need to know here is when two lines are parallel, the slopes are equal. When two lines are perpendicular, the product of the slopes is minus 1. Fine. So when two lines are perpendicular, slope of one is m1, that of the other is m2. Then for perpendicular lines, the product of the slopes is minus 1. You need to know only this much. Fine. Let us just take some questions and try to solve, because I said 2-point form and all are not required. So let me just show you how we can solve these questions. Some PYQ or important questions I have pulled up. Just a second. Yeah. Okay. Not reflection. A line passing through the points. Mhm. A line passing through the points A to A and minus 2, 3 is perpendicular to the line 4x plus 3y plus 5 is 0. Okay. A line passing through these 2 points. It is passing through these 2 points and it is perpendicular. The perpendicular condition will give us M and the points will give us C. There are only two unknowns. So two conditions. It's passing through this and it's perpendicular to this. Okay. Now let us find M. M1 into M2 should be minus 1. M will be how much? Convert it to the form of y is mx plus c. Y is mx plus c. So 3y is minus 4x minus 5. So y is minus 4 by 3x minus 5 by 3. This is m. M1 or M2. Now let us find m1 from here if this is m2. So m2 we got as minus 4 by 3. m1 will be how much? m1 y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Here what have they asked? Find the value of a. So equation is not asked. Y2 minus y1. Now another thing I would suggest, whenever you get the question, I mean you're solving a coordinate equation question, please write them as y1 y1 x1 y1 and x2 y2 to avoid mistakes. Sometimes students do this minus this and this y minus, it becomes the reverse. Okay, therein you'll go wrong. So write x1 y1 x2 y2 to avoid mistakes. Now plug in values. Y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Fine. So this is M1 and this is M2. We are asked to find the value of A. Use the condition of perpendicularity to find value of A. Okay. M1 into M2 is minus 1. Fine. M1 is 3 minus 2A upon minus 2 minus A. So M1 is minus 1 by M2. Minus 1 by M2. M2 is minus 4 by 3. Now here what happens? Minus minus get cancelled. Denominator of the denominator goes to the numerator. So this becomes 3 by 4. Now solve for A. Solve for A. How much will it be? So 3 minus 2A times 4 will be minus 2 minus a times 3, 12 minus 8a is minus 6 minus 3a. So minus 8a plus 3a is minus 6 minus 12, minus 5a is minus 18. A is 18 by 5, which is 3 by 5. Got it? So we use the condition of perpendicularity and did this. So the point I made here was x1 y1 and x2 y2 need to be marked so that we do not go wrong. Okay, one more question. Find the equation of a line that has y-intercept 3 and is perpendicular to these two. This time we already did. I'll show you how. We'll not use 2-point theorem formula and do. Okay, the vertices of ABC are the vertices of ABC. A, B, C. The vertices are 3, 8, 3, 8, minus 1, 2, and 6 minus 6. Question says, find the slope of BC. Find slope of BC. What will you do? To find slope, m is y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. Again, we need to write them as x1, y1 and x2, y2 to avoid mistake. Now plug in minus 6 minus 2, right? 6 plus 1, minus of minus. So minus 8 by 7. That is the slope of BC. Slope of BC. Then the question says, equation of a line perpendicular to BC passing through A. Equation of a line perpendicular to BC passing through A. See, two conditions given. Easy to find equation of a line. Already M we have got. M1 into M2 is minus 1. So M1 into minus 8 by 7 is minus 1. M1 will be minus minus would get cancelled, 7 by 8. So we got the slope of this line. Now what is required? Only C. Two unknowns are there. Make two equations, solve for M and C. Do not learn too many equations and formulas. This will be enough. So we got M. Now to find C. To find C, this y is equal to mx plus c, right? This line passes through 3 and 8. So this should satisfy, this point should satisfy this equation. So plug in the values of x and y. 8 is equal to m is 7 by 8 and x is 3 plus c. So this will give you the value of c. Write down the final formula, final equation. M you already know, x we do not need, plus c we have found from here. Do you understand? Okay. So actually we do not need the vertices of this and this. Find the slope equation. No, 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 same type. So if 2 points are given, still we can find. Should I take one? Or you understood? Suppose, I'll just explain that. Suppose 2 points are given. I'm telling you all not to use what? Not to use that 2-point form and all. So suppose 2 points are given. Take any 2 points, and I'm not going to use 2-point form. Suppose 2, 3, and say 7, 8 are 2 points. Question is, find the equation passing through these two. Okay. First of all, x1, y1, x2, y2. M will be y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So once you get M, what remains to be found? Y is mx plus c. Only c is to be found. M we already know. X and y you can take any of the two because the line is passing through them. So take any point on the line for x and y and plug in the values and find c, and you're done. Fine. I think that is all in your syllabus, I think. Anything else? No. So we are sorted. Fine. I hope you found it helpful. The next video that I would upload is maybe some algebra from ICSE syllabus. Okay. Keep watching and keep preparing well for your upcoming exam. Thank you all.